right, another good week in the NFL. Week 3 concluded. New York Giants' Daniel Jones, impressive in his debut, a pair of touchdowns through the air, a pair on the ground, I believe, if I remember correct. Comes back, gives the Giants a big 1-point victory. Sorry, I can't talk apparently again. Barkley goes out 4 to 8 weeks, high ankle sprain. Hopefully he's not out too long. I don't know how Daniel Jones will do going forward. I'm not sold on him, but he did look good in his first start. I'm glad they did it on the road in Tampa Bay and not at home in New York, where he would have felt all that extra pressure playing in front of the home crowd. How crazy that fucking New York media is. It is insane. To people up here in Toronto, it's more than what you'd get at Leafs or Habs or Oilers, Flames, Senators, Canucks, Jets. Name your Canadian NHL team. The media market in the NFL for the Giants is absolutely crazy down there. Shaq Barrett, Tampa Bay. Couldn't get any playing time behind Chubb and Miller in Denver. But man, what a signing by Tampa in the offseason, as he's recorded 8 sacks through the first 3 games already this year. The last player to do that was Mark Gatineau. He's the only other player. He did that in 1984 with his 8 sacks through 3 games. He ended up finishing that year with 22 sacks, a record that stood for 17 years until, when did Strahan break that? 2001, I want to say. Double check me on the year. It could be off a year or two. It could have been 2000, 2002, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. 2001, you all remember when that blade of grass tripped up Brett Favre right in front of Strahan, which ended up giving him the record 22 and a half sacks. But anyways, the NFL never even started tracking sacks until 1982. So it's impressive either way. He's in elite company. He could have a phenomenal season this year. He's just a savvy player who's got experience. It's not like he's a rookie or a real young kid. He knows what he's doing and can play the game. And he's showing that in Tampa Bay. A change of scenery seems to be all that dude needed. All the best to him going forward. Kansas City, Baltimore, wow. That lived up to all the hype and my expectations. Lamar Jackson was making moves, shaking bacon defenders. Patrick Mahomes, he was doing a little bit of everything for you. Doesn't matter who the receivers are on that team. I love that Mecole Hardman kid. Dude is just as fast, maybe even faster than Tyreek Hill, who they haven't even missed a beat with him being out. And let me touch on Patrick Mahomes just for a second. You want to know how good this motherfucking kid is? Through 20 career games, he's got 6,576 passing yards. Previous record, Kurt Warner, just let me check my stats here, 5,613 with the St. Louis Rams. And third on that list, Andrew Luck, 5,289. Again, Mahomes, 6,576 yards through 20 games. 60 passing TDs. Kurt Warner and Dan Marino each had 47, and somebody comparable, Deshaun Watson, had 41 through his first 20 games in the NFL. So some serious fucking names, some serious fucking quality quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks, that Mahomes is just destroying them. And notice Brady's not even on this list. Aaron Rodgers isn't on this list because they weren't tops on this list, and Mahomes is still caking it. Already over 1,000 passing yards and double-digit touchdowns so far this year with 0 interceptions. 0. The dude is on point. Doesn't matter who Andy Reid interchanges in there in the offense with injury, suspensions, whatnot, what have you. Mahomes continues to get it done. It's nice to always have Kelsey as that safety valve. Doesn't really fucking matter. The Chiefs have done amazing. Patrick Mahomes, the next great thing, I'm ready to book him a spot in the Hall of Fame, and he's the only young quarterback I'm probably ready to do that with. Unless he gets injured, this kid is going to smash every record set by almost every quarterback so far. A lot of it to do with how offensive the NFL has become, all the rules protecting the offensive players, all the things being taken away from the defensive players. But anyways, that's a discussion for another day. If you guys want to join me in one in the future, I'd love to do a live show with all of yous. I'd love to do live shows eventually going forward. Hopefully in the new year, 2020, I can start that off. He's already has the most 300-yard passing games at 13 through his first 20 games than any other quarterback in history of the NFL. He's averaging 328.8 yards through the air per game in his entire career. Again, that's 20 games, but still impressive. He's only tossed 13 interceptions in the 20 games, and once again, none this year so far. Prior to Mahomes, no NFL QB had ever tossed for 300 yards and 4 TD passes 6 times in their first 40 games. Mahomes, he accomplished that feat in his 19th game last week against the Oakland fucking Raiders. 19 games, he did what no other fucking quarterback in NFL history had done through their first 40 games. That stat there, I want to give credit to Michael David Smith from Pro Football Talks. I saw his tweet about it. I had to throw that stat out there. It was just a phenomenal stat. He's got quite a few good stats if you want to check him out as well. Now, back to the game. Lamar Jackson, he wasn't outdone by that much by Patrick Mahomes. He did everything in his power to keep that game close, to help Baltimore claw back into that game. And they ended up losing by 5 points. They covered the spread. Kansas City still came out with the win. What a game. I hope these two teams meet in the AFC Championship. It's too bad, in my opinion, they couldn't meet in the, no, I wouldn't say Super Bowl. There's a lot of teams that I've enjoyed watching so far this year in both conferences. But KC Baltimore definitely tops on my list. A lot of good, young, exciting players. Love that game. Bears defense carries them to another victory. Clinton Dix pick 6. Sorry, I thought I was giving myself a tongue twister there. Khalil Mack, he had 3 forced fumbles and 3 sacks in the first half alone. Unfortunately, one of each was called back due to penalties. Still, 2 sacks, 2 forced fumbles in a half of action. The defense carried them all the way to victory in this. 5 takeaways leading to 24 Bears points. And that was really the game. Jam done. Their defense continues to carry them. Trubisky, I'm not a believer in him. I don't think he's that good of a quarterback. NFL starter, yes, but definitely bottom 3rd in the league, in my opinion. I don't think you're going to win much with him as a quarterback unless you can get such a dominant defense that he just has to do enough. But wow, I just wonder how long that Bears defense can carry that team. They could do it. Seen a lot of great defenses do it. Ravens, Eagles, Bears in 85. Steelers have done it. And numerous teams have done it over the years. I don't need to teach you guys that history. Saints win for the first time since 2005 without Drew Brees as their starting quarterback. A long thing. And at the same time, they gave Pete Carroll his first September home loss in the last 16 games. He was 15-0 in September at home heading into Sunday's matchup. The Saints dealt him a loss when Teddy Bridgewater was able to manage the game. A lot of that was due to Alvin Kamara. Wow. Fucking phenomenal. He'll definitely be leaned on going forward until Breeze comes back, especially with Bridgewater holding down the fort. They get to go home this week. I think they're going to win again, and it does not mean they can win or go far without Drew Brees. It just means they're well coached, they're managing the game, and they're playing to the strengths of the players that are in their lineup, and they're doing a good job of it. At least they took care of business in Seattle. Everybody knows Seattle is a tough place to play in, no matter where you are in the standings or where they are in the standings. Their home field advantage is legit. Big win for New Orleans. Kyle Adams, Carolina QB. Daniel Jones, Giants QB. Gardner Minshew, Jacksonville's QB. All look good in week 3 wins for their teams. They're all young quarterbacks. None of them really have any experience. They've all had to come in because of injuries. So kudos to them for all getting a win for their teams in week 3. Huge deal for those teams moving forward. 49ers, another defense that continued to roll, forcing turnovers and propelling San Fran to their victory. Granted, they played Tampa, Cincy, and Pittsburgh. Not exactly the strongest schedule, but you could look at a lot of teams like that. Even New England, who have they played? The Jets, Miami, Pittsburgh, yeah. Similar with a lot of teams, and I'm not hating on New England there. Just pointing out that all teams have soft points in their schedules. All teams have tough ones. New England's tough ones. Week 9 to 14, I believe they've got Philadelphia, Dallas, Baltimore. They got a handful of games, at least 4 tough games in that stretch. So it's not like their whole year is simple. Houston, Thank you, Houston. You protected Deshaun Watson. Oh my fucking God, that was nice to see. I is so worried for that kid's health. I still worry about his health. I hope you guys can just do enough to keep him on his feet as much as you did yesterday. Because if you can do that, you can be a legit threat in the AFC. And I truly, truly believe that. It was your first ever win against the Chargers franchise in franchise history. Houston has never beat the Chargers organization on the home or on the road or at home, sorry. That was a big win for them moving forward as well. Eagles. Nelson Aguilar. How the fuck do you drop 12 fucking passes? That is worse than men's league. That is worse than amateur. You don't see college kids dropping 12 passes in one fucking game in top schools. Maybe in the bottom end fucking schools and colleges because there's so fucking goddamn many of them in the US. But how do you drop 12 fucking balls? Catch one of them and that's a different game. The 2 fumbles in the first half, a kick return for Detroit's first possession. You had scored 10 points offensively before they even had an offensive fucking touch, and you still lost that fucking game because nobody could catch a goddamn fucking ball. And it's going to make Wentz or Peterson take shots from people. It's going to make them look bad. Their stats are going to look bad. But really, how can you fault Wentz or fucking Peterson with all them fucking drops in that goddamn fucking game? Come on, man. I know you're better than that. You just got that $9 million deal. Don't make me want to fucking cut you. That was a horrible fucking game. You better fucking bounce back, or I hope Howie gets rid of your ass, because that was totally unacceptable. I don't have that many drops playing catch with my fucking children in the back fucking yard for an hour and a half. Come on, you gotta be better than that. Enough about the Eagles. That really pissed me off. Especially both my fucking brothers, Ted and Cordell, both fucking Detroit everything fans. So that was a real fucking bad fucking game yesterday. Anyways, Dallas, New England. You took care of business again, doing what you're supposed to, putting up points, taking care of business, getting wins, racking up the W's, trying to take control of your divisions. New England, you got a tough one, divisional rival Buffalo next week. In Buffalo, 3-0 versus 3-0. I'll get to that with my picks in a few minutes. Dallas, you're looking good moving forward. Hopefully you can carry that on. Well, hopefully for you Cowboys fans, Dallas can carry that on. I personally, as an Eagles fan, hope y'all fucking choke. But not with injuries, because I want to play y'all healthy. I don't want no fucking excuses with either team when they play. I hope both teams are fucking healthy. But anyways, Cowboys, kudos to you. I got to give you props. You're taking care of business. 3-0 start, getting it done. Spreading the ball around on offense, playing solid defensively. Special teams has done a solid job. Just a balanced effort all around by New England and Dallas so far. So kudos to both of you. And that is it for my Week 2 reviews. I had nothing else I really want to talk about Week 2. I might want to do a big fucking Eagles rant later and how pissed off I am over that fucking game. Not only that game, but I'm still pissed off about that Atlanta game too. Anyways, that's it for Week 2 in review. Now on to my Week 3 picks. Alright, this week, starting it off on the Thursday nighter, you got Philadelphia at Green Bay. Green Bay minus 4.5 favorites. Remember, all my bets, all my odds are Bet365. That's what I use to gamble with as well. Personally, I'm not afraid to share with you any of my bets. I bet on just about everything. I bet on golf, soccer, football, hockey, basketball. I bet on men's, women, and all of them sports. I bet on cricket. I bet on rugby, lacrosse, you name it. I love my sports. I love most sports. There's a couple I don't like, but enough of that. Actually, I'm going to get you guys in another short video. I'll give my Week 3 picks, and I'll keep these 2 videos separate, so give me a minute, and I'll set them up, and I'll put them out back to back.